right. Hello, everyone. Hello. Hello, everyone. I'm just checking to see we are here live with you. There you go. We're here live. For those of you who are here, please let us know that if you can hear us. I'm here with Fran, our very own Fran here. I'll have her introduce herself again. Most of you know her. She came here and did some workshop with me already. But we will talk about in a very exciting news about our RITP for School program. I know most of you have been waiting, and I even see you guys posting about when we're going to start our school program. I've been talking about it for several years, and I've been using it for several years, but we are finally ready. We have it ready to share with you, and we're going to talk about it today. And so if you have any questions, please post it here. We're here for a little bit and to discuss about the program, even share with you how we start working on it and how we partnered about on the program as well. But before I do, Fran, can you just introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Hi, everybody. I'm Fran Rubio Katz. Everybody calls me Coach Franny. I'm a social, emotional, and behavioral specialist, and I actually work in a classroom in the morning teaching pre-K 4, and then I have my own clinic in the afternoon. I am a certified provider of RITP, and I am going to be working with Kokeb for RITP at school and helping everybody out there learn how to bring RITP at school into your school building in a way that not only you as the provider, but your teachers can really utilize and love the program.
I am super excited, and I'm super excited that Fran is doing this with me. Usually in the program, in the certification program, I do the coaching, but this time when we're putting this program together, it was necessary that we have an additional person, especially someone who taught in the classroom, not just from an OT's perspective. I believe that we need to create a program that is holistic and not one-sided, but be able to see the program from all sides. And it's been a couple of years literally putting this program together. At first, when I started creating it, I was observing a lot of teachers in their classroom and trying to figure out what is the best way to create a program that is easy for teachers to implement in an easy way. And even before I started creating that, I had to understand what do teachers need? And by observing for a long time in the classroom, I realized teachers have a lot on their plate. And my one goal or two goals that I want for that child is not everything, even though it was everything for me, but I realized there's so much more that they handle. So we started creating a program that is really a curriculum based and done for you, easy to follow, but also working on the foundational skill of the child. So we've been testing this program for a couple of years. Close to 2022 is probably when I started building the first ones, or maybe 21, and testing it all with different settings, pre-K all the way to kindergartners. And really, we've been seeing a lot of results, and it's been exciting to see how easy it is for our teachers. Obviously, there are different kind of teachers that we work with, but
I don't
with
want to interrupt you, Kokeb, but you said pre-K to kindergarten, and I just want everybody to know it's pre-K through 12th grade,
yes,
pre-K through 12th.
yes. Did I say kinder?
Yeah. But I'm like, wait, I want everybody to know it's through 12th grade.
Yes, it's the 12th grade. So pre-K to 12th grade. We kept adding programs that is more age appropriate. We started out with the younger ones, but then you kept building for the older ones. It's a lot of fun actually to see the younger ones wanted to do exercises that is for the older ones because it's more of a challenge for them to do. Um, and seeing teachers being easily transferring this skill in the classroom. So there's a whole lot of things that we teach inside the program, obviously, how to implement it, what to think through, a simple approach, and all that. But today we just wanted to come and share with you about the program and our just journey into creating it, because I think it's important to know how did this come about, for me, I'll share for my side, and then Fran can share her side. For my side is coming from from an OT perspective and working for 20 plus years with teachers, and then seeing like why is it difficult for me to give a program for teachers and it's not being carried out. So as a therapist, if you're a therapist here, you might think like, oh, the teacher's not doing it and they don't care, they don't, they're not prioritizing it. Or another part is like, okay, if the plan I'm setting up is not working, maybe I need to change my plan. Is there something I need to do from my part? Like, how can I make it easier? That was my approach to the program, and creating uh, resources that are especially because we believe on increased frequency and carry being activities being carried out at home and at school, and in the in the child's environment and natural environment, which would be home and school. Clinic can be more structured, might not look like the regular day-to-day activity. So sometimes you might see a kid come to your session, they act very different than they do in the classroom or at home. So being able to transfer this knowledge to the team is really important. So how do we do that? How do we create a resource that is easily carried out without overwhelming either the teacher or the parent, the caregiver, or the paraeducator, whoever you're giving this program to? So that is where we came from, and then we tested it out. So it's being tested a lot, and then Fran can share too. So us in the middle of working on this program, she actually went back and started to teach and testing it out as a teacher herself. So I'll let you talk about that part.
Yeah. So, I think, first of all, I was a classroom teacher for many, many years. And I started learning about so many different programs to help children who are having a difficult time behaving, paying attention, learning. And a lot of those things were very top down. They were the things that you're always trying to like talk to the child in a certain way or coach the child on a certain thing. And I could be the best that I could be, and I could be doing all of these things with the child, and it could be effective. And then I noticed the children still needed more. I did leave the classroom so that I could dedicate myself to learning more of these programs in depth. Um, being a one-on-one service provider coming into schools, like Kokeb is saying that she's, that how she's done that. And then I noticed that also the teachers were still struggling. And after COVID, I wanted to put my money where my mouth is, so to say, and go back into the classroom and test all the different things out that I always say that are important and what works. And I wanted to put it back in a group setting because, like you just said, Kokeb, there's such a difference in how children behave in different environments. Um, and one of the things that I learned while I was out of the classroom, really seeking how can I help children be their very best selves, is that all that talk stuff, all that top down stuff, it's not enough because that all hits the conscious part of the brain. We know that reflexes are happening in the unconscious part of the brain and even in the automatic part of the brain. And so we can talk till we're blue in the face, and we can have children who want to do so well, but their reflexes might not be allowing it. And before knowing about reflexes, I was starting to get that we need to do something more with the nervous system. So I studied yoga. I studied many different things. But with the reflexes, we're going back to those natural motor movement patterns that help us really target integrating the reflexes so we can get even bigger results. And so when I went back into the classroom, I wanted to provide this for more children. I didn't want it to just be for the kids that were already identified as requiring additional support. There are children in our classrooms that may never meet that criteria, and they will benefit from additional support. So I brought it back into my classroom. I also, in the afternoon, still have my consulting business. And even though I want to talk about my classroom, something that really excites me is that I was bringing it to a middle school and I was working with the kids the week before their standardized testing, and the children loved it. You
Nice.
would think that the middle schoolers would get like silly or like not want to do some of the things. They tried so hard. They loved every exercise. I was using our RITP at school. The videos are already done for you. I call the guy on the screen exercise man. I always forget what his real name is.
Jeff.
Sorry, Jeff. He's known throughout the land as exercise man.
Yeah.
But but what was amazing is the kids, when I would tell them, guys, this next exercise we're going to do, it's not going to only help you with calming down and getting energy out, or in some cases, waking up and feeling more alert, but we're going to do something right now that's going to help you with something called hands grasp. And when your hands grasp is integrated, you grasp onto more things in life. And the kids were like, and like they get so excited about it. So that was something that I really loved. In my classroom, I have loved just playing with different ways to incorporate RITP at school. We did a you and I did a call, and I think it's house somewhere where everybody can access it, where I talk about some ways that I've used it in my classroom. But something that I really love to do is to teach the kids at circle time. And right now, again, I'm in a pre-K classroom, and I've taught everything from middle school to elementary to preschool. I can't do high school, not that smart. And but what I've seen is that when you get the children into play, or you get older children into movement, and the whole energy of the room shifts in such a positive way. And then learning and creativity and curiosity and engagement just unfold naturally. So I know I just went off on 20 different tangents, and I'm a little bit long-winded, and I apologize, but I'm just very passionate and very excited because I feel that I know that this program is going to not only help the OTs and service providers that are bringing it into their schools. There's going to be teachers that are going to be relieved to have access to this. And I'll let you jump in, Kokeb, and explain how the OT or service provider who's going into the school would be able to provide this to the teacher. But we're going to be able to reach so many more children, not just the ones who have gone through weeks and weeks and weeks, or years and years and years of different things, to finally be told that, okay, we need to help this child do X, Y, and Z. We're going to save so much time. And the more our reflexes are integrated, the more we are integrated as human beings, the more we live to our potential. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, so how we created it is for the entire classroom to get this access, because it's not just for, it's not just for the child who with diagnosis or delayed. Oh, we really believe, and I believe that everyone actually needs it, and actually all the teachers can benefit from it, and it will benefit you as a teacher, if you're a teacher or educator, to know what movements to do to help with the child's focus, concentration, which helps with reading and writing and coordination and alignment and everything that you think like the foundational level that builds on that, it's going to be beneficial. And why not give it for the whole class? Because just like Fran says, there are kids that are missed a lot, and they don't get services because they're below, they're just a tiny bit below, but not like that, not that to the point like they have a certain diagnosis that they qualify for services that someone can come and give them, specialized services. But with this program, RTP is created actually to be given to the entire school. So the schools that are using it right now is full inclusion schools from pre-K all the way to kindergarten. Everybody gets it. However, we train our therapists to be able to use it. Originally, this program was created for the certification program. And then originally it's done that all our therapists get trained in screening, create treatment plan and implementation, create home program, create school program, and assess. So what happened is how this happened, like we pulling it out and making it available is I've been getting calls or emails, reach outs from several therapists who, but either they have like MNRI certification or RMTI or all those like reflex integration, different certification, but they've been reaching out to say like, hey, I don't need another certification, but I want your tools. And then, but I've created it in a way that it was kind of combined with the certification. So I have to be able to pull it out in a way that is still beneficial for service providers to still get some kind of value from it, even if they're not going to go to the certification. However, if you have no idea of what reflex integration is, you don't have any other training, and you do need to understand more. As a therapist, I advise you to learn more, and you might as well just do the whole certification. You access it there anyways. But if you're a therapist who've done like the MNRI, for instance, both Fran and I have MNRI background as well, and or RMTI or any kind of understanding, you can use this program as an OT. You can, the way you do it, the way I use it with all the teachers that I work with, actually, I really highly rely on this product, this program is all the exercises or it's done for you and it's there for me. So what I do is I have access to give them to my teachers, and then I can create treatment plans and then recommend what activities, exercises they should do in the classroom. So the way we advise our therapist is, depending on the class, everybody should get these movements, and then see which of which of the students are a little bit behind. And then it never fails. Usually when a teacher have a red flag on a child, or they tell me like, okay, I want you to come and see this child. And if I ask them, okay, how is he doing in this movement, that movement? And they'll say like, oh, he has the most challenge with these kind of activities. So I can match that usually with what reflex pattern we want to target, which movement patterns we want to target, depending on the challenge. It can be like, oh, he has a hard time tracking, he has a hard time sitting still. Like I can literally, we can pick out activity to target that developmental progression that can help the child. So for the teacher, I don't have to worry about whether or not the teacher has enough energy that day. Remember the exercise, lead the exercise for me. I'm not giving them another work to do. Instead, I'm just giving them a tool to say, just play this, because it's
Plug
already,
and play.
yeah, just that simple. Like I need to give them like if something that's already done, say do this, and then if they want to go in depth, then they have a training for them to access as well, so they can learn, they can go in depth and learn how these reflex pattern influence development and education, and that's an option for them. But from my experience, what I learned is, of course, when I was fresh OT, I gave a ton of home programs and I gave a lot of classroom intervention ideas. And let's just say not much was carried out. So I think with time, I realized I need to give less and something that can be carried out. So my goal has to be like, I want this child to get this intervention. How can I make it super easy for the teacher to do this for me? Um, and then how can I make it easy for the teacher? So even the exercise that we've created, I was there, we're shooting the videos, making sure like the how much auditory, audio, like verbal instruction we're giving them. Visually, is it too stimulating? Are we doing it step by step and movement pattern? All of this kind of things that we really did it in a way that is carefully created for the students to be able to mimic and do. And then the teachers can then, let's say for like they use it for the whole class, and that can be something that you can recommend. If let's say as a therapist you have 2 or 3 kids that you're servicing, but then why not the whole class get the service? Like for me, I was like, yes, you're concerned about those 2 classes, but actually everybody needs it. But if those 2 kids need additional movement break, they need additional, so they can pull out the child and they can do an additional, the same exercise as a movement break or the sensory diet or reflex integration diet, whatever you want to call it. In addition to that, we also give our licensed access to parents. So the teachers can email the parents, say like, hey, Lord Johnny, we've been working on this. He has a hard time. If you're interested, would you be interested in getting this and doing it at home? So if they're interested, then we can give them access to the program. And then now the child is doing it at home, the child is doing it in the classroom. And then if you pull them out, they're doing it with you. So the likelihood of the goal being met, it gets, quicker. So you're increasing frequency for that child. So for the therapists right now, currently therapists use it with multiple classrooms. They use it as a movement break and sensory diet with the class. And then parents do it as a home program. And that's something that they're doing. And inside of it, we also have checklists. That's something we did, which is exciting. We have a school-wide general checklist that I can be able to track because I realize as we're working on it, there's always like a hole you see, like we need this product. So right now, how it's going to help, what we're doing is like I have a checklist that I send the teachers, and the teachers individually will tell me where this child is at. So before even I go in the classroom, I have the child's name and where they're at. So I know exactly like, what the challenge is. Some of them, or that they take a note for me, and I will see in my note, okay, these are, the diagnosis. I see the challenge. When I go in, it's easier for me to observe because I don't know about you because I forget names. I forget. There's so many kids and I can't keep up. But then if I have it in one place, then now we can give us a data collection, like we're going to be able to track. And then it's important for us, part of our ITP, what we do is having a program that is measurable, trackable, and repeatable. If you can't measure it and if you cannot track it, if you cannot repeat it, I don't know if it's that effective because you forget what you did and you're doing something else. You're all over the place, but like being able to track, repeat, and measure is important. And you're proving it to yourself, you're proving it to the teacher and to the client as well. So that's how we have it. So the program is ideal for school-based occupational therapists, homeschoolers. Those are the ones who've been using it so far. Anyone, special educators who are working with school, that's ideal for them as well. And if any of you, if you fit in that, if you're a teacher and if you want to learn, come through, and then we have all the trainings, and we're doing a kickoff session, a live session on March 29th, where the registration has opened. So come on and enroll. And we're having a kickoff session on March 29. We're going to be live, and then we're going to walk you through all the program and all the resources that we have. And we have, as the program is a yearly subscription, And we're having a community that you're going to belong to, because I do believe an online course or program by itself is not enough. That's why our certification program has mentorship and coaching program, that you can come live and we can brainstorm with you. Similarly, we're actually opening up another community just for this program as well. So you're going to come in, and monthly we're going to meet with you, we're going to answer your questions, you're going to implement it, and you're going to come, and then we can walk you through how you're implementing it. If you have any question, you can post it, and you work with us for the whole year. That's our plan, and we're super excited about it. It's finally available for all the educators. This is for teachers, educators, and school-based OTs.
Yeah, and I just want to add two quick things that I was thinking about as you were speaking. When you were talking about things being measurable, in education, we have to track data as well, and we have to have progress monitoring. And when you can bring the RITP program and it can align with your progress monitoring and your tiered interventions, it's just like making everything so much easier. And when that's all like teacher lingo, and when teachers hear that you have that set up, they're going to be so happy. So that brings me to the second thing I wanted to share. I just finished working with a little boy. He is 4 years old. He's in pre-K 3. He was 3 turning 4 this school year. And he was referred to me. I did see him in my clinic, but I want you to hear what happened for him at school. He had, I want to just pull it up here because just want to give you the right information. So prior to starting working with me, he had 5 biting incidents, 2 hitting kicking incidents, and 1 incident where he threw an object and it injured another child. And you know how, like, again, I always talk about, yes, our top-down stuff is important. Noticing what brain state the child is in, noticing like when we are able to connect with the child and when we see that the child needs a little bit of space. All those things are so important. However, I didn't do any top-down coaching with him. What I did with this little boy, I did do some MNRI neurotactile, and then the rest was RITP. Mom got the app. I gave her a playlist. And we worked together. We did 13 sessions. They spanned from, let me tell you, just want to make sure I get this right, January 16th to March 4th. His last reported incident was February 6th. He's had no more incidents at school. And this is like, the school already logs any aggressive incident into their little system that they communicate with the parents about. So it's not like I was calling in. I just said, can you just print this for me? And they were like, these are what it was before. This is what it was since you were working with him. The mom also reported that his sleep was very off prior to working with me. He was not sleeping through the night. He was able to fall asleep. He was not staying asleep through the night. He's now sleeping through the night.
Nice.
And the third thing is, she said at home, she said there were some days that he probably like smacked her, hit her, pinched her, like upwards of, she's like probably like 50 times a day or more. She said it was constant. He would, like, even to show affection, he would just go and he would smack and he would hit. And and he now, she said, has gone down from multiple incidents a day. I hope it wasn't really 50. Maybe that was just mom like being like, it was like upward of 50 a day, but it was a lot. And she said there's maybe an incident a day and many days without incident. And through RITP, through our screening program, or through our screening rather, I saw that his TLR was very off, and that was impacting his head writing. And if your TLR is off, you are going, he goes more into that extension position. He is very hard with his flexion position. If you're always like this, you are automatically going to be more tense, less flexible emotionally, not only physically. And since when he started doing the popcorn exercise, he could not even do it. I had to take him back to earth huggers. And even the mom just helping him, I said, even if you have to hold his head and hold it up a little bit. He got through his earth huggers, and now he is doing the popcorn, and now he can do 3 completely on his own and 3 with mom supporting his head, and he loves it so much. And now she texted me the other night and um she's like, now he's making me do popcorn and he's supporting my head. So
That's so
uh
cool.
yeah, and here's this beautiful little boy who everybody, like, super smart boy, very highly verbal boy. They thought that he was just misbehaving because maybe he was bored. And I'm like, let me check this little guy's reflexes. And look, there was so many things beneath the surface that might not be obvious to other people. When I said to this teacher and said to the parents, when this reflex is not integrated, these are some of the behaviors you're going to see. And you'll see that as part of Kokeb's checklists within the program. They're all there. And so I love to give those checklists to teachers, especially when, like, I see, oh, I think there's a lot of TLR stuff going on here. And when I say to the teacher, can you just fill this out? They're like, their mouth drops when they're like, that's from because he can't do that. Like, huh? And so it's just very eye-opening and very interesting, because a lot of teachers start to realize that a lot of behavior is not choice. I always say behavior is reflexive. So so they start to realize, oh, there's a lot more to behavior than I thought. So I just wanted to throw those
Yeah,
two.
no, that's a good example, especially for how it helps teachers. From what I've been coaching teachers who are using this RITP as well, is it helps to do a quick screen or show them, because sometimes they go into power struggle or feel like you're not listening to me. Or um, they go into creating a behavior plan, but the behavior plan might not actually help at all because we've not dealt with the issue. And once they start to understand, oh, this is actually like, let me show you in his body how he's can't even control his body. And then there's a level of like, care or sympathy they have. All of a sudden, they feel kind of like, oh, he can't even move that. Like, he can't even help himself in the way he moves or interacts. So now way I can explain to them why it's hard for this kid, like putting things in his mouth. Like instead of being mad at the child that he's constantly putting everything in his mouth, I'm like, let me just check, see, this is why
Or
he's.
writing refusal. Writing refusal is a huge one that really can upset educators, because we have our own goals that have to meet. But if you're trying to get a child to write who can't even do hands opening and closing, like, we have to rewind.
Yeah, we actually, I don't know if I told you the story. This in a couple months ago with the kindergartner, the concern was they're not writing, they're not even doing the X, their fine motor, handwriting was a challenge. And then first I had to convince the teacher, I'm like, trust me, just I know fine motor is a problem, like you want to work on that. But then after just doing a few movement with the class, I can see that they can't even cross the midline. They don't even understand left or right. They're not organized. So I'm like, just give me a couple weeks, just 2 weeks, that every movement do these specific exercises for movement break. And during circle time, like morning meeting, you're gonna have them there anyways. It will take 5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes every day, doing these like cross crawl exercises and the hand exercises. Just do that every day, every day. And about 2 weeks or 3 weeks right now, I go in, they're doing handwriting without tears. She's like, oh, they're doing way better now. Because I was explaining, like, if they can't do the, big movements, asking them to do the small movement is hard. Like, even tracking was difficult. So movement is really key. I know, like, this is education. We want them to sit still and write and all that. Um, but movement does so much more. And I know we're just talking about right now just reflex, but there's so much more that we're actually doing. We're not even talking about everything else we're doing. It's not just a reflex. This is a very holistic approach to treatment. We don't know half of the things that's happening in the brain actually. Nobody has researched everything that goes with it. So movement is key as much as possible. And then even if it doesn't feel like it doesn't make sense or your goals are like Fran said is handwriting, just trust the process, at least test it out. That's what I say. I'm like, just try it out for 2 weeks. If we don't see anything, we change the treatment plan. And we've been getting a good result with that as well for the teachers to be able to implement. Because as an OT, especially going in and recommending these exercises, and you have to first address their main goal, and then there are times that you have to address the main goal right away so that you can work on the other goals that you care about, but there are times you have to actually win them over. Like to say, like, just give them with this one. I say, like, we're not going to get anywhere with the handwriting with these kids unless we actually dealt with the foundational level. And once she did that, you can see like there was, relax, because for the teachers, that's what she cares. Like her goals, she's a teacher, she needs to teach them to write, to read, and then I have to explain how that is meeting her goals. We do talk about goal writing inside the certification program too, but if you're an OT and if you want to, those are the things that we will be able to discuss and help you with problem solving in our coaching calls. So for those of you who are just joining us, we were just talking about the RITP at School program. We just launched, and we are doing we have a kickoff session on March 29th, and Fran and I are going to be your main coaches. Oh, the sun is hitting you.
The sun all of a sudden is like, woo woo, I'm gonna move.
Okay, no problem. Um, so we are launching the RITP at School program. It's for school-based OTs, educators, or special educators who are overseeing classrooms. When you come in the program, we have done for you resources that we're going to give you access, but also part of our RITP certification program has a 5-tier class. The fifth one is home and school intervention and implementation course. So we're pulling that course out and having it available. It's really ideal for therapists who have some idea of reflex integration already, because we're actually pulling out that course, assuming that you have some background as a therapist on reflex integration. If you want to know more and want to be certified and learn about screening and implementation, by any time you can upgrade to our certification program. But for now, you can come to this program where we will be guiding you through the school program. We are super excited about it. We've been testing it out. I use it weekly with all of my teachers, and we send it out as a home program. Parents use it as a home program as well. We've been getting really good results. So super, super excited about it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us here. I'm going to tag Fran and this video as well, so both of us will see it and we can answer your questions. And we're excited to have you hopefully inside our program.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. And we'll come here and hopefully give you more updates. And if you have any questions, write it down or comment here, and then we'll make sure to answer them. And have a nice day. Bye, everyone.
Bye.